Hey everyone, it's Orange. Welcome back to another video. Welcome to Path to Decency episode 61. The last episode was 1 year and 9 months ago. This is the longest break I've taken between Path to Decency episodes. The first break, or the second place longest break, was actually between when I started my account to the first episode, where I started playing Summoner's War for 3 months, and 3 months in, I was like, hey, it'd be a good idea to show everyone how I'm playing my account and how I'm progressing, because it might be helpful to people to follow along and follow some of my decision-making, get some ideas from me, incorporate their own ideas to help everyone play Summoner's War, period. So I guess, yeah, that was my whole idea with the series. So the reason I stopped making videos, the main reason I stopped making Path to Decency was, I guess we could say lack of motivation, but basically what was happening was I was just getting into the Summoner's War grind, and nothing was really sticking out enough for me to be like, we need to go press record right now, I need to go press record right now, and make this video to talk to people about what's going on. So something pretty big happened today, which is a new magic shop came out, with some math involved, I guess, so I'm completely riled up. I also had a Diet Coke, so maybe some of the caffeine's getting to me, I don't know. But I wanted to make an update video for you guys to show you my account. A couple of other things have kind of been building up to make me want to do an update video, but this magic shop kind of like tipped the scales, because I guess I'm kind of like a Jehovah's Witness. I need to get out and tell you guys, be careful with what you do with the new shop. I guess it's not called a magic shop, I think it's called Special Crystal Shop or something, Ancient Crystal Shop. So, I just want to say be careful with what you do. So I guess we'll kick off the video with this, because I'm already talking about it. So, the way you get materials for this is by feeding nat5s. That's the only way to get materials for this. So, I'll go ahead and bring you guys over to where you actually get the materials. You go to this crafting building, and you go to Special, and then you click right here. Come to Us might end up giving these crystals out through events and stuff like that. I probably wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But yeah, you put your nat5 right here. And I have a few options. I have a few dupes. That's a dupe Lagmaron, dupe Leica, dupe Velajewel, and that's it. Just 3 dupes for me. So you put it in there, and then you get 300 ancient crystals, which you can go ahead and use wherever. Oh yeah, you have to go into shop, then special, then magic shop, and then over here. So, the rewards that you can buy after you get those 300 is a Splendid Blessing, which I'm sure you guys know what that does. Every time you summon a nat5, it gives you a choice between 2 nat5s. They can be dupes. I'm pretty sure they can't be the same nat5, but not 100% sure on that. Or you can get Legend Runes, Grindstones, or Reappraisal Stones. These are pretty insane how Come to Us set this whole system up. Every month you get 20 refreshes to roll 3 runes that you can possibly buy. And you also get 20 refreshes to roll some gems and grindstones. As we can see here, I have 3 gems, but you can get grindstones too. So if you do the math, 1 nat5 plus a few like rift materials, but I'm not going to even count those because those should be pretty easy for people to get. Basically, 1 nat5 equals 1 gem or grindstone. I would probably prefer gem. I think gems are more worth it, but Swar Farm doesn't have the data anymore for the drop rates in R5 of gems and grindstones, but I think gems are rarer, so I think those are going to be the ones that you want to go for, but don't quote me on that. Make sure to do a little bit more research before you decide. So back to what I was saying. 1 nat5 equals it's 300 crystal thingies, and then this is 180, this is 85. You can do some tricky combinations, especially if you have more than 1 nat5 to feed. So make sure you actually look at the simple additions behind these, I would highly suggest looking at the simple additions, or you can go for some pretty crazy runes. So basically my whole Jehovah's Witness, like, guys, bow to the religion of math, my whole thing that I want to say is be very careful with this. Over 4 years of playing the game, I haven't summoned a lot. I think I've only bought 3 premium packs, 2 or 3 total. I only summon from what I get in the game, and then I buy a few packages here and there that do have scrolls in them. I keep track of all of my spendings in a paste bin, so I guess I could say I think I'm one of like the thriftier players, definitely on the lower paying side for 4 years. But there are people who have spent less than me, and there are people who are completely free to play. So I'm going to have to be really careful with these, because I only have 3 Nat 5s that I can feed, which basically means I can only get 3, maybe 4 legendary runes if I do decide to turn my Nat 5 in for runes. Or, you know, like a few gems and grinds, whatever I decide. Or I can go with Splendid Blessings. So let's actually go back in here and I'll tell you what my current thoughts are. Okay, so I'm currently thinking that the blessings are worth it. What I did was I went into the monsters over here, and wait, we gotta go right here, collection. And I counted all of the Nat 5s that would be good and usable to me, and the Nat 5s that would be basically storage guardians. So for all 3 scenarios, fire, water, and wind, I think it's over a 50% chance that I get something that's pretty good. Nat 5s can be very, very, very OP, and their skill sets can be worth it to carry, I guess, subpar runes compared to just using Nat 4s like Lucian's. Because if you guys have followed me since I started playing about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I've been pretty free to play. Like, I didn't have a lot of options to work with. I still use Lucian's as my main AO, but Lucian's are pretty good. I recently got Bastet, who I just very, very recently incorporated into my AO, but up to this point I've been using like free to play AO. I have a few rush hours. I have one rush hour where I got G2 completely free to play, AO and AD. But I guess we could technically say some of my runes were not free to play because I was spending money on the game and that influenced my runes. But yeah, you guys get the whole deal. So I'm currently thinking that the blessings are worth it just because some of these Nat 5s and their potential is high. But I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do. I've been talking with my guild, talking with some people not in my guild, and I definitely will be seeing what other people have to say about this, but I do think math can help us heavily in our decision making with what to do with these materials, right? Because like I said, I can get 3 legendary runes. I am completely fine with waiting a year to get a rune. How often have you guys rolled a rune that tells you, like, a rune that is a G3 rune? I only have a few of those. Super, super high innate stats that roll very high on the first roll. They roll very high all the way to plus 12, and you just know this rune is basically perfect. It doesn't even need a gem, it doesn't need a grindstone. But actually, I think technically perfect runes would be ones that allow you to gem something out. They would be more perfect than a perfect rune that you don't need to gem or grind. So, yeah, I'm thinking if I do end up going the rune route, then I may be waiting a very long time using my 20 refreshes every month and just waiting for a very good rune that has the potential to roll by itself good. And if it doesn't roll good, then I can, or well, I guess, if it doesn't roll well, then I can go ahead and re-app it. So I am prepared to wait a very long time to wait for the perfect rune if that is mathematically the decision to make. But I'm not sure what the decision will be. But as I said earlier, I'm kind of leaning towards the Splendid Blessings right now. But we will have to see. So that is the first topic that I wanted to cover. I'll go ahead and refresh over here to see what we have going on. And I think that about covers the new shop sort of deal. So, I guess we can move on to the next topic. So, in Path to Decency, I usually cover things in an order, so I'm probably going to cover Arena first, how it's been going over the past 1.5 years. 1 year, 9 months. Then Guild War, then Siege, which is a new thing. I mean, it's kind of old by this point. Then R5 and dungeons and stuff like that. So let's start with Arena. A lot of what I'm going to update you guys on is just showing you my account right now, sort of thing, and talking about everything from memory, because I don't remember exactly how many G1 and G2 finishes I've had over the past 1 year, 9 months, but I'll do my best to give you guys a picture of what has happened. So, I have gotten, I think, 5-ish, maybe, G2 finishes, so I'm definitely not a solid G2 player at all. If I wanted to rush for G2, it would definitely be a coin flip, and I would have to do some different things, rune some different things, but G1 is pretty solid for me at this point. I do have to do rush hour for G1, and I also haven't been rushing very much, but I did start to take it more seriously lately, because one of my guildies, Ro, has been getting into rushing. He got his first G1 a few weeks ago, and he's working on G2 now. So he's been informing me of a lot of current arena strategies, which has really given me motivation to get back on the arena grind, which I basically completely lost motivation for a while. I was just settling into the rune grind and just farming dungeons and not really working on improving at arena, not working on keeping up to date on the meta and stuff like that. But I'm getting back into it. So I attempted a G2 rush last week, and I do update everything on Twitter. So if you guys follow my Twitter, I'm very active over there, keeping everything up to date with what I'm doing. So even though I haven't been making videos, my Twitter is very up to date with what's been happening. And yeah, it didn't go well. I have major problems with my AD. I think my AD is the weakest part because my AD didn't do anything. It just, I think, completely failed at everything it was supposed to do. A lot of people say that rushing for any rank is mainly about your AO, but I kind of disagree with that. I think AD is pretty influential. I think you need an AD that actually has a purpose and counters things and actually works when you test it. There were some new... I'm pretty sure you can test your AD, but Come To Us added some new features in the game where you can test your Guild War defenses, your Siege defenses, and I'm pretty sure AD too, but I haven't done that yet because I haven't built an AD. So, up to this point, I've mostly just been throwing in monsters that I already have runed. I've still been running Freya teams, which is... Freya was used a really long time ago. I still think she's viable these days, but the meta has definitely shifted away from her. So, I probably will be looking at building some sort of AD that actually does things with a Nemesis healer, because I did pull Aerial with my summoning stones that I was saving for a very, very long time. Or I can do like some sort of Jean thing, I don't really know. I have a lot of fire options like Vanessa, Rakan, I have Ritesh, I have Camilla. I have a lot of things that I can definitely use to craft a G2 level AD. So, yeah. As always, I'm open to changing my opinion if someone says, like, you're completely wrong, run this AD and you can get G3 with it as long as your AO is strong enough. I'd be okay to accept that, but I personally feel like your AD has to actually do something and potentially get some wins here and there. It can't just be for random monsters that are nat 5s that you put on there. So, yeah. So I can get G1 pretty solidly. Let me show you guys what my AOs are, and I'm gonna clear my rival because I always clear my rivals. So right now I'm running two main AOs, this Shimate one and also the double Lucian with Bastet. So huge shout out to Foxy. I'll link all of his stuff down below. I know he streams on Twitch and he has a YouTube channel. I'm not sure what else he has. He usually goes by Foxy SW, FOXY SW. So I've been watching a few of his videos over the past couple weeks and getting ideas from him. So up to this point, I had still been running my Softener Lucian AO, which is basically this team but with Megan instead of Bastet, and one of the Lucians is specifically runed to do 7,100 damage per card, 100% crit rate, and you build him as tanky as possible on will, and he softens everything so it won't trigger Nemesis. And then the second Lucian does as much damage as possible. I used to run them around 200 speed. I think I got them to like 206. So that was my previous setup. But my guilty row was looking into rushing, which inspired me and gave me a ton of motivation. So I started watching Foxy's videos, decided to give these Lucians a try because my Softener Lucian was not working that well at all. And these Lucians work a lot better, and one interesting thing is that the Shimate team actually does the same thing as the Softener Lucian. He'll soften just as much and work in the exact same way. So why would you run a Softener Lucian when you can just run Shimate? So that's what I am doing for my two AOs. And then I have P-Sama there just in case on the off chance I see a 33% lead defense. For example, P-Sama, Bernard, Alicia, Zyros, or something like that, which I can just clear with just my Lucian. So yeah, but during rush hour I don't think I'll be using the P-Sama version. So my plans for rushing, I definitely do want to build a legitimate defense that does things like I said. It needs to Nemesis heal or counter some sort of AO out there. It needs to counter Zyros. It needs to counter Lucian. Probably Lucian is the biggest one that you want to focus on, so I might do something like Vanessa, Ariel, blank blank, Ritesh, Camilla, I don't know. Something like that. But I haven't figured it out yet. And free rune removal's coming up in a week or something. I actually did a full account rerune last week, I think it was, so I'm definitely more on top of things, and I might look at building an AD, or at least the majority of an AD, and have it runed for the entire month. That way, because last week what I did when I did my legit rush, which like completely failed, I did get G1, but it was very, very bad. What I did was I moved a ton of runes and spent a lot of mana, and I don't really want to be doing that, even though I do have so much mana, as we can see over there. I don't want to do that, so I might see if I can rune up the majority of an AD, and then maybe I'll just move runes on one monster. I think I can rune an Ariel, maybe. Actually, probably not, because some of the Nemesis runes might be used on some other monsters that I have, but I'll see what I can do and try to figure that out. But I might start pretty conservative. I may not do a full account rerune specifically for Rush. I might just try to use my two AOs and AD and kind of see where that puts me, and then maybe in the future look a little bit more at going very hardcore into Arena, like basically build my account specifically for Arena, because obviously that's going to mess up my Guild War and Siege monsters, and I'm not going to do as well over there. So yeah, that's Arena. And that is my main focus in the game, Arena. That's like where I want to perform the best. And then the second two areas where I like to perform is Guild War and Siege. RTA I still have not done. I did attempt it a long time ago in like season 4 or something for the Camilla skin, but I failed at getting G1. And my account was also like pretty messed up too, and my progression completely halted, so I have no idea how people balance RTA and actually farming. Maybe my runes, I just didn't have enough runes at that point to be able to rune everything up. But yeah, I don't have any plans on doing RTA because I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing, but I actually have been watching some RTA streams of people doing RTA, and it's been kind of interesting. So who knows what I'll do in the future, but yeah, basically I stay away from RTA and I stay away from Special League too, and I just chill and farm and do Guild Wars and Siege, and occasionally rush. So let's talk about Guild Wars, still in so fucking epic, if you can see by my little note here. I mean, I guess we could technically say King Sofa Epic, because of how I have it drawn. But yeah, so the only thing really to update you guys on with my guild is that we got a new best score, which was rank 4. We actually almost got legend rank this week, but the RNG was not in our favor. I think we could have had it, but someone pulled us, or someone pulled the guild that we were hitting. I don't remember how it worked out, but I don't really care about that. I was very happy about the new rank 4 finish, but we don't try to get any high ranks. Our only goal is to get G3 every week. So these ranks are basically just completely RNG. The rank 4 was complete RNG. I mean, maybe not complete, because we still have to defend against G1 guilds who could potentially kind of mess us up during certain points of the week where we could be brought down lower. But yeah, it's very heavily RNG, Guild War finishes. So that was very cool. I think our last best score was last year sometime. I keep tweets of all of this stuff, so it was just kind of cool to see a new high score when our last one was a year ago, and maybe the one before that was the year before. I don't know, but it was kind of cool and random, even though it is RNG. So let me fill you guys in on my defenses. I actually have 2 pretty nice and meta defenses built right now, which I've never had in the past because my monster box has been pretty freaking bad. And I only have 1 Nat 5 on my defense too, which is Chandra. Everything else is free to play, I guess we could say. Theomars is a Nat 5. Everyone always is a nitpicker in my comments. I mean, not everyone, but there are some nitpickers. Chandra is the only thing that you can obtain in the game. Platy and Hralsvelg and Kamoon you should obtain if you are in a G3 guild, or if you are at my progression in the game, I think it's like a 99% likelihood that you'll have these monsters by the time you're where I am. Whatever, hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. But yeah, my defenses are pretty nice and very meta right now, and I do have pretty good runes on them, so I'll go ahead and show you guys my monsters right now. I'm also going to be linking you guys my Swar farm with all of my runes on it, so you can see, you can size me up precisely to see how big my account is, or whatever, how OP it is compared to other people. Yeah, so those are my runes on my defense. Let me show you guys some of my defense logs. Hey look, it's Fury. Shout out to Cognix, best Reddit mod, and shout out to all these other guys too. Shout out to Dolphin Buff and Fury. And let's scroll down here to see what we got going on. We have some successful, some draws. My second defense, the one with Theomars, does a little bit better than the first one. I am pretty sure my guildie above was the inventor of the Theomars Hralsvelg Kamoon defense, so shout out to him. And then the left defense, I copied it from someone. I copied it from, I think it was Apocalypse, but they are split up now, so rest in peace to Apocalypse. I copied it from someone when we had a really tough siege, because I thought it sounded really good and thought it worked well. So that completed my first defense, and now I have 2 official defenses. Yay. So that's basically it for Guild War. We are recruiting. I am in charge of the main recruitment process, so I post on the Summoners War Discord, on SW Guild's Reddit, as well as Summoners War Reddit with the thread of recruitment stuff. So if you guys are interested in joining, we do a 1 Guild War rush. So every day of the week we have our regular 2 wars, 12 hours apart. But then on the final day, we do our regular 2 wars, and we do an extra war, hopefully to boost ourselves up to G3 and help us out a little bit. So I have the schedule for that, And we usually save the first war on Friday. So war Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 8, war 9 we save. Hopefully I did that right. And then we use that one on the final day. So yeah, that's Guild War. We're doing very well in Sofa King Epic, and I'll show you guys my guild members so that they can be on video and they can be famous for the history of this video, I guess. We kind of have a Game of Thrones meme going on, so we have some strange pictures. And rest in peace to my guildies who haven't logged on in a while. They will be missed. Hopefully they come back. So yeah, that's update with the guild stuff. And on the same note, I guess, we gotta head over to Siege and see what's going on. So we compete in mid G3 Siege, and that's pretty much where we are. We are not a serious Siege guild. All we ask is that everyone uses their attacks before Siege is over, whether that be on the first day or the second day. We don't do any pinging people to attack at certain times or anything like that. But we just ask people to follow common sense. You know, don't overextend too deep unless you have to, because some people have real lives and they have work and they can only attack at certain times. So we just try to have everyone use their attacks and also attack whenever they can, but if they can, try to use some common sense and attack appropriate targets. And we also don't play for like second place or anything like that. We just play for first every single siege. I mean, I guess sometimes we play for second, but we don't do anything like just targeting one guild. We will fight both guilds every single siege. So we just try to play clean, fair, and then just do the best that we can. So yeah, that's Siege. We're not too try-hard. I'll show you guys some of our defenses here, which we have worked on. We have a full Commune Theomar's Fralsvelg tower. So whenever this tower goes down, we try to recycle it, because eventually it should start beating people, and it does beat people. It does have some pretty good success rates. I can't really see the success rates from this screen, but I'll take you guys through mine, I guess. This looks like we have another Theomar's tower over here, but we have some different things mixed in. And then Tower 11 is our Jean Tower. So yeah, we also recycle our Jean Tower when we can. Here are some of the most OP 4-star defenses that we have right now, and this is just to give you guys a good idea of what the G3 meta is. So we do have a lot of meta defenses. This one I think has fallen out of favor a little bit, but it was really big a while ago. But right now it's Skogul everywhere for 4-star towers. This defense, a lot of people run Aegir, Skogul, Harmonia, but I do not like that at all, because you can just copper the Skogul and win. But the Triana does help. And yeah, it's a very safe copper. The only one that's given me problems is Aegir, Skogul, Rikuni. Hopefully I'm saying Aegir right. Aegir. Hopefully people won't bully me for that pronunciation. But yeah, Aegir, Skogul, Rikuni, when I try to copper that one, the Rikuni and Aegir can get me dangerously low, my Communimessity copper. So that one's also kind of scary, but this is the meta, I think. I think Triana's the strongest, Harmonia maybe second strongest, I don't really know. I just build what the top guilds are building. I think that's kind of how Siege works. The top guilds kind of define the meta, and then it trickles down to all the lower ranks. And we are not really a top guild. We are in G3, but we're not the bigger dogs in this game. So yeah, those are our outside towers, and then I think all of the inside towers are just kind of random defenses that we have. We might have tried to build a Molong tower too, but it doesn't look like we have that anymore. So yeah, those are our towers. Let me show you guys my individual success rates, I guess. So one of my leaders told me to put in a bunch of random stuff. I mean, Ro told me to put in a bunch of random stuff because one of our sieges, I think we were winning really hard. So yeah, don't pay attention to these. I mean, I could be leaking secret strategies. This could be the next meta. So these are... Whoa, okay. I thought this defense was being used somewhere, but it wasn't. So these are my main defenses. I only have 4. And I just like to keep it that way because these are my strongest ones. Oh wait, I did have a Molong one. This one might kind of be okay, but it hasn't been getting wins. This team actually is the old meta, but it still gets some wins for me. So I'll show you guys my win rates on these. Oh no, my Fairy King's letting me down. But yeah, my 4 main ones are at the top right there. Hey, look. The Susanoo Orengelol one has been doing well. So that's it for Siege. Let's move on to the next thing, which is R5. So one of the other factors that inspired me to make a new Path of Decency episode is a new R5 team that came out, which is Katarina baleygr R5. I'm sure you guys have heard of it by now, but yeah, this is the team right here. And the other 2 leaders that people use are the Fire Nine-Tailed Fox and the Wind Nine-Tailed Fox. So I did go ahead and build this team this week. I think it was this week or last week, just a few days ago. I built it, and I've been running it like crazy. Usually with guildies, because the people in public can fail, and that's not too good. But I have been in Channel 65 looking for people to run with me. So I'll show you guys the stats on the main 2 monsters that matter. Baleygr, I guess, is maybe how you pronounce it. So here's my stats on him. And Katarina over here. So my Katarina does 51k Sword of Discharges, which is on the low end. If I get skill ups in it, she'll do about 55k, which is solid for Katarina. And then my baleygr does 28k right now on his max hit. So I'm on the, I guess, lower end of damage for these 2, but this is honestly the best I can build them, and I did give them some of my best runes. They didn't get first choice for runes, but they got very, very, very good runes. So I have been extremely dumb, and I definitely think I've oversold fat damage dealer runes. And I also have not farmed very much Necro compared to Giants and Dragons. So I just have them on Will right now, but a lot of people are running Fatal Will or Rage Will. But these are the builds that do the most damage. I used the optimizer to calculate these builds, so I'm not sure if the optimizer is 100% correct with the damage formulas, but I'm assuming that it should be very close or it should be perfect. I'm going to say it is perfect, but because the numbers that my monsters do are exactly what the optimizer says. But if someone wants to tell me that it's like slightly off somewhere or a few monsters are weird, I would probably believe that, but I wouldn't 100% believe it. I'd be like, oh, that's probably believable due to some circumstances, some reasons. So yeah, those are my 2 main monsters. Then I'll show you guys my supports here. So I followed the guide on Reddit to rune these, and I'll link you guys the guide in the description of this video. I'm going to link you guys 3 Reddit posts. One is the first guide, the second one is like tiny improvements or something, and then the third one is also tiny improvements again. So go ahead and check those out. But I just followed the first guide, word for word on how to rune these monsters, and they worked out. I do want to get skill ups on Katarina and baleygr because it will increase the success rate of my runs. And everybody wants more successful runs, so I'm gonna be... One of my goals is farming Necro, as well as getting skill ups on these. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it. One other unfortunate thing is that I think I fed a lot of Nat 4s to get these legendary summoning pieces, so I think I fed a lot of Nat 4s that could have been used for baleygr fusions as well as Katarina fusions. So I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I definitely want to over time work on getting skill ups on those so that my R5 success rate can be better. And I will probably be showing you clips of R5 over this video too, to show you guys how that's going. So R5, KB5 is amazing. I also hadn't ran too much R5 up until KB5 came out, so it was coincidentally very, very nice for me that it just kind of came out, and I was just chilling, not really hardcore farming R5, and now it's out, and it's very amazing. Thank you to everyone who worked on that team and who improved it to how it is today, because now us F2P noobs can run fast R5, and we don't have to have Jemire to do it. So that's nice. Also, by the way, I'm not F2P, for anyone who's going to call me out in the comments about that. Okay. So, but I don't have Jemire or whatever else was necessary for very fast R5, until now. So, I did say that I'm going to be getting into Necro, but we also have to talk about my other dungeon teams. So, the twins were relatively new a while ago, and I did not make a video on them, even though I was working on obtaining them. I did get a few of them through exclusive summons, and I thought it was worth because dupe twins are used, as well as skill-ups are very good on twins. So I got Talia through summoning stones, and I think I got a dupe Sabrina, and maybe Shayna. So I got a few of them through exclusives. Other twins I got just by summoning them. So I'll show you guys my entire monster box after we talk about my twins teams. So the biggest thing that I did with twins was build this dragons team, which is not speed tuned because I did some gemming and grinding, as well as rift beast teams. So twins are very OP in the rift beasts. They give you insane scores. These monsters are absolutely necessary if you're going to be playing Summoner's War. You need to get them. So I would advise doing that with summoning stones as long as you time it correctly with your progression. So this team, the ideal speed tuning is Kali goes first, then Sabrina, then Shayna, then Talia, then Verd. But my speed tuning's a little off. It looks like Kali goes second, so she needs to be faster, but everything else looks fine. But I'll check this again when I start another run. And I'll tell you guys my builds. So my Kali is on a Guild War build still, so ideally I like her to be doing more than 50,000 damage. I don't know how much she does right now, but it's over 50,000. And I've surprisingly been able to use her quite a bit with Kali Tian Huadam. So with her, I get her 77% crit rate and then as much damage as possible. Those are the only two requirements on her. She doesn't need rune sets, she doesn't need speed. Sometimes I try to go for a little bit of tankiness on her, but, maybe like 15,000 HP rather than like 11,000. But right now I think she just has whatever HP. I think it's very, very low right now, which has been fine. So then that's her. She actually does need a little bit of speed for this team, so I think coincidentally one of her best build was about 136 speed or something like that. So then it made everything else pretty easy to make them move after her. So then the next monster is Sabrina, who I give 85% crit rate, which bumps her up to 100 against fire monsters because of her elemental advantage, gives her a hidden 15%. And I also give her 55% accuracy, which is the cap for Dragons B10. And then I give her speed tuning. So I forgot which one I runed first. I forgot because I've done it like a few different ways. Overall, I don't think it matters that much because the runs are still going to be very fast. With this team, I think you should average 40 to 50 seconds. So I don't really know if you want to get too intricate with who you rune first, but you definitely can if you want to maximize your absolute maximum damage. And if you're not using Kali in Guild War, you don't have to worry about hitting 50,000 damage, but you probably want as much damage as possible on her. but I guess you could rune her last in exchange for more twins damage, but blah blah blah, you'll have to figure out the ordering on yourself. I'll just go through in my speed tune order. So then after Sabrina is Shayna, and I think I give her 85% crit rate too, just to get a nice high number. She will miss some crits because it's not 100, but whatever. I also give her 85% accuracy, and then speed tuning. No rune sets on anything. If you can get rune sets, that's good. Probably just your highest damage rune sets. Violent will probably slow you down. Oh shoot, wait, what's going on? They should be hitting the dragon first when Sabrina moves first, but I didn't quite see who moved first there. But I've been noticing some mess-ups with my janky speed tuning. So yeah, that's Talia, and then, that's Shayna, and then Talia is the same thing. 85% crit rate, speed tuning, 55% accuracy. I'm not sure if accuracy is necessary, but I just went for it for this dungeon because defense break is good to land on everything. And then Verd, make him the slowest, and I put mine on Violent because I think he can come in clutch sometimes to help speed up the final boss with a Violent proc, so the boss doesn't get immunity. Violent feels a little bit better to me, but other people may say, don't do Violent. So yeah, Verd, 100% crit rate, the slowest, and Violent. That's what I do for him. So I didn't do any shield sets, I didn't do any Violent sets because I'm not using the twins for Necro. I decided that I'm going to specialize in a dungeon, so every month I will re-rune based on whatever dungeon I'm farming, because I think it's the most efficient way of doing things for the fastest, most effective, highest success rate runs. The only part where this can mess you up is the daily missions. So there was like a new thing added where we have an extra daily mission where you have to sometimes do Necro. So when that happens, I usually just throw in Colleen, I think, and somehow I manage it. Sometimes I get some fails though, but it's pretty infrequent that I do get that daily mission. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Over here, there's like a secret locked mission, and sometimes it's Necro, sometimes it's dragons. A lot of times it's the Rift Beasts. So let me show you guys the Rift Beasts over here. Maybe I can show you guys my rank. So yeah, I started adding a lot of twins into these, and they are absolutely OP. Some of these teams might be old scores though. All of the twins are new scores though. So it looks like I did get new scores ever since I built the twins and threw them on these teams randomly.